organisms are facilitating the life or facilitating the growth of anaerobic organisms. So it is very good example of actually commensalism, which is found on these rocks. This is the diagram of the same trickling filter. Here from bottom side the pipes are shown. It is known as sewer pipes, and via sewer pipes water is usually collected and then it is slowly sprinkled over the surface by rotating sprinkler, and water is getting trickled down through bed of rock and it is get clarified. This is the second step or second type of biological treatment of wastewater. It is known as activated sludge process. Before going in any detail, we will clarify what is sludge. Sludge is nothing but it is solid or semi-solid mud-like part which is acted upon by microbes and contains actively growing culture of microbes. So sludge is partially degraded and it contains a very young culture of microorganisms, actively growing culture of microorganisms. So it is a highly fertile, highly it is used as a fertilizer for in agricultural practices also. In this treatment usually sludge is recycled and then it is reinoculated in fresh sewage which is coming from primary treatment, and by this way we can reduce the rate of decomposition, we can enhance the rate of decomposition and we can reduce the time for treatment. This is the diagrammatic representation of activated sludge process. Here primary effluent is coming. Primary effluent means the water which has already been treated in primary treatment and now it is coming here. It is also known as influent or effluent. Both words are used, primary effluent or influent. This influent is added in first aeration tank. Aeration tank is the device at where fresh air is also added by air compressor, and it is also cause the aeration of fresh sewage, and then it is channelized for final clarifier. Final clarifier is also known as secondary sedimentation tank or secondary settling tank. The reason is that once settling tank or sedimentation tank has already been used during primary treatment, during physical process, so that's why the same treatment is coming again. So that's why this secondary and primary, these two things are getting separated. In secondary treatment or secondary sedimentation tank, usually now microorganisms will act upon the fresh sewage and they will make sludge. This sludge has been recycled by recycle pump and it is freshly inoculated in newly coming sewage, and in this way they will enhance the rate of reaction, they will decrease the time for the degradation, and we can make process faster by this process. So this is one of the most proved process in biological treatment of wastewater. This is the actual photograph of the same activated sludge process treatment. Now we are coming for third one, which is called oxidation pond. Oxidation pond is the simplest type of biological treatment or secondary treatment of wastewater. Here this is actually not any technologically sound or any modified process. It is very simple process. It is usually found in ponds, river, water streams, lakes, or whatever water bodies are there. This is very frequent process in all of these places. The advantages of oxidation ponds are like this: no electricity or no machinery are needed, so capital investment is very less. Only land cost is the cost to be considered during the planning of this oxidation pond. Usually no qualified manpower or even not at all manpowers are needed for oxidation pond, because it is very primitive technique. It doesn't require any technological sound persons or anything else. So these are the advantages of oxidation pond. This is the diagram of oxidation pond. Here the entire system has been divided in two parts, upper part and lower part. Upper part is known as photic zone. Photic zone of the water is the part of the water or is the area of the water up to which light can penetrate. Generally it is decided by how much turbidity is found in the water, and turbidity is all due to how much suspended solid particles or suspended microorganisms are found in the water. So in photic zone usually algal growth is preferred, and algal growth is mostly found in this upper area of oxidation pond. We know that algae are very famous for their photosynthetic reactions, and they utilize light and CO2, and they produce some organic compound in oxidation pond. These dead algae and organic compound which are produced by algae, it will be shifted to benthic zone of the oxidation pond, and in benthic zone usually heterotrophic organisms or anaerobic organisms, they usually grow in that area, and they will utilize this thing, and they will make simplified, they will make clear water in the same oxidation pond. So it is actually one type of symbiotic relationship between algae and heterotrophic organism, because algae are facilitating the growth of heterotrophic organism by providing oxygen and organic matter, and heterotrophic organisms are providing carbon dioxide back to the algae, and both are benefiting in this reaction. The water, whatever time is spent by water in this tank, that time is known as HRT. In the language of water technology and all this thing, this time is known as HRT. HRT stands for hydraulic retention time, means how much time water is spending in particular treatment, that time is known as HRT for the water. HRT of the water may depend on several factors like quality of water, BOD value of the water, COD value of the water, TOC, nutritional load, how many organisms are present. All these things will decide how much time water should be kept in particular treatment of waste water. This is the same real diagram or real picture of oxidation pond in some wastewater treatment. Remaining portion will be continued by my companion lecturer Archana Rana madam.
Thank you. Now we have to discuss and we have to continue with the secondary treatment for the wastewater only. And in the secondary treatment of wastewater, we are discussing the oxidation pond. We have already discussed about the oxidation pond. Just the modification of oxidation pond is there, where not any type of aerator is involved. Here we have to discuss the one in which aerators are involved, and that is known as the forced aeration technique. So now we have to discuss about the forced aeration technique. You can see from the slide that forced aeration technique is the one in which just the modification of oxidation pond is there. And why this is there? To overcome the problem of reduced level of dissolved oxygen in water. So fresh dissolved oxygen is continuously being added by aerators, and in this current scenario even the biosensors are fitted with the aerators, and even sometimes the length of the aerators can be modified. So forced aeration method is the one by which the oxidation pond whatever works, just like that the dissolved oxygen maintenance can be possible, and that is one of the way of the secondary treatment of wastewater. The next one is the picture of the aerator. You can just see from the picture, the figure shows in the bottom the aerators are there. When these aerators are moving, they are rotating, at that time dissolved oxygen is going to be added, and that's why whatever the BOD maintenance is there, that can be there with the help of forced aeration. Next one, the same is there in this picture also. So this is one of the forced aeration technique for the secondary treatment of the wastewater. Next please. Now we are coming to the last treatment of the secondary treatment of wastewater. This is known as Imhoff tank. We have discussed about the septic tank, that is for the single dwelling unit. Just the little modification is there, that is known as Imhoff tank. What exactly the Imhoff tank? Why the name is Imhoff tank? Because the German engineer in the year 1876, the name was Karl Imhoff. They have designed this particular tank, and that's why the name is Imhoff tank. The modification of septic tank is there in such a way, the two problem is there with the septic tank that can be overcome by the Imhoff tank. You can just see from the picture, the figure is there, the schematic diagram is there, that shows the two different type of the compartment. One is settling compartment and another is sludge digestion compartment. One compartment is there that is having the slope type of the area from where the sludge is going to be collected in sludge digestion compartment, and then the sludge withdrawal line is there. So from there sludge is going to be withdrawn. So now in this tank there is no problem of the mixing of the sludge, while in the septic tank the mixing of the sludge was the problem. So next please. You can see the two disadvantages of the septic tank can be overcome here, that it prevents the solid that is removed from the sewage by mixing, and it provides the effluent amenable to further treatment. So that is the Imhoff tank. Now after the secondary treatment, what we have? We have with us the effluent and we have with us the sludge. So whatever the effluent is there, if they require the advanced treatment, then we have to proceed for the advanced treatment. That is not always such that advanced treatment require at each and every stage in each and every type of the wastewater. This advanced treatment is even known as chemical treatment and even known as tertiary treatment. So what exactly the advanced treatment is? Advanced wastewater treatment is required when removal of substances beyond the primary and secondary treatment processes are necessary. So not always advanced treatment is required. The next one. It may be introduced at any stage of the total treatment. This statement is correct, but generally most of the time that is applied after the secondary treatment. So after the removal of the pollutant, the advanced treatment is applied. Advanced treatment may involve biological nitrification, denitrification, ultrafiltration, reverse osmosis, carbon adsorption, chemical addition, and ion exchange resins. We know very well in current scenario there are reverse osmosis, and that are the method that is used in routine life for the water purification purpose in day-to-day life. That is even used for the wastewater treatment, but as we know very well, the RO system and ultrafiltration, they have the high cost, and that's why this all the method that is listed in the slide, they all are having high cost, and that is the disadvantageous. So which are the methods that are widely useful by the industries? That are removal of suspended solids, coagulation, flocculation, chlorination, activated carbon treatment, nitrogen removal, phosphorus removal, and post aeration. Now removal of suspended solids, whatever the suspended solids are there, they are removed as it is from the wastewater by the float, and that's why the floating is one of the method for the removal of the suspended solid. But coagulation and flocculation, what exactly the coagulation? By the negative charge containing particle, whatever the neutralization is being made, and by that the increase is there in the size of the particle, and as the increment is there in the size of the particle, they can easily removed from the wastewater. So that is the one method that is known as coagulation. Just like that the flocculation is there, flocculation in that the flocks of the different particles are being prepared and they can be easily removed. The next method is chlorination. We know very well the chlorine. Chlorine is one of the disinfecting agents. So this step is also known as disinfection. So what exactly the chlorination? Chlorination have two purposes. One is for the disinfection and the second is for the removal of bad odor. So with the help of chlorine, the bad odor can be removed. Now one point is that in this one here, application of the chlorine can be possible by two way. Either we can use the liquid or either we can go for the use of the gaseous. So that is the chlorination. Now the next is there, that is activated carbon treatment. In activated carbon treatment, whatever the chlorination is being there, because of the chlorination, extra chlorine is there that can be removed. As we know very well, worldwide absorbent that is very well known is activated carbon. So here the activated carbon is used as absorbent, and by that the absorption of the whatever remaining chlorine is there and another toxic substance, just like the pollutant, the dye, the non-degradable substance, they are absorbed and then they can be removed. Then nitrogen removal, phosphorus removal and post aeration. These three are another step of the advanced treatment. In this, what exactly the nitrogen removal? We know very well what exactly the nitrogen is. The nitrogen is present in each and every organism also, and nitrogen is present in each and every component also. So in wastewater, whatever the debris are there, they are containing nitrogen in high amount. By the action of organism, this nitrogen can be even converted in ammonia and can be released. And even formation of N triple bond N, that we call it as nitrogen gas, and directly the nitrogen gas can be just be free in the environment by the action of anaerobic bacteria. So that is the nitrogen removal. We can see in the next slide that is showing the reaction that anaerobic microorganisms possesses different microbes that have the capability to convert nitrate and nitrite to nitrogen, and that escapes to the atmosphere. The next step is that in which phosphate removal is there. Now in the sludge, phosphate removal is possible by two ways. One is chemical treatment and another is biological treatment. Here whatever the step is shown, this particular equation that shows alumina, alum is mixed with the phosphate and aluminum phosphate can be removed from the sludge. This is chemical treatment, but we have to pay attention on the biological treatment. What is the biological treatment? We have discussed activated sludge before this oxidation pond. What exactly the activated sludge? We are providing the particular area in which the organisms are being kept, they are growing, they are by the growth, they are increasing the particular level of the organic matter and they are removed. Just like that the sludge is going to prepare. Just like that in phosphate removal, what is there? The activated sludge pond are divided in two particular area. One area is there where anaerobic condition is provided. Because of the anaerobic condition, the organisms are not going to grow in that area as they are aerobic. So here anaerobic organisms are not going to grow, and because of that the organisms, when they are collected to the aerobic area, so from the anaerobic to the aerobic area, when organisms are shifted, as they are shifting, they are going to produce their metabolites as fast as possible, and because of that they will going to collect more and more amount of the phosphate that is present in the given area, and by that the consumption of